Let's see how we can learn pretty much anything by combining ChatGPT's almost infinite knowledge with Canva's powerful visual communication tools. Let's go! What is up guys, Ronnie here, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another ChatGPT plus Canva tutorial, and this time I'd like to see how to use these tools to learn pretty much anything that is useful to me. So I have a couple of steps, let's jump into step number 1. Alright guys, the first thing you need to do before learning anything is obviously define what you want to learn. There are really 3 ways to look at this. You could think in terms of hard skills, okay? So things like learning carpentry, or learning how to speak a specific language, or learning how to code in a specific programming language. So those would be hard skills. Another way to look at this would be to learn in terms of a career path. Okay, I want to become a software engineer. I want to become a professional basketball player. I want to become a teacher. What are the skills, what are the soft and hard skills I will need to learn in order to achieve that goal? And then the third way to answer that question, what should I learn, is to think in terms of soft skills. So these will be skills like emotional intelligence, communication skills, maybe people skills like managing people, stuff like that. So these are the 3 ways to answer that question: hard skills, soft skills, and career path. For this video and the example we will choose, because we need a topic to learn about so I can show you how to use ChatGPT and Canva to really learn about this topic, I thought since you are all here, since you all love Canva, why not try to learn more about becoming a better graphic designer? So I'm choosing the career path, professional graphic designer. What do I need to learn in order to become a more prolific, a more qualified, a more professional graphic designer? So that is what we will be learning about, but you can literally learn about anything. That's the beauty of it. Alright, we are now in ChatGPT and I am ready to start preparing ChatGPT for our conversation. So make sure you start a new chat. This is very important. Let me remind you that every chat, every conversation, ChatGPT is like brand new. It's like it's born again, okay? It doesn't have any knowledge about you or the context of what you will be asking it. So it's always a good idea to start the conversation by prepping ChatGPT, by telling it what is it that we are trying to achieve and our overarching goal for this entire conversation. So I have a prompt right here, so I'm just going to read it to you. I am going to ask you to run different tasks. My ultimate goal is to learn how to become a qualified graphic designer. I want you to insert a number in front of each answer you will provide, starting with 1 for your first answer, then 2 for your second answer, etc. Do you understand? So the reason I'm asking ChatGPT to put a number in front of its answer is so that it will be easier for me to go back to specific answer it gives me. I could just say, remember what you said in answer number 1, please elaborate on this, stuff like that. So it will be easier for me to run these follow-up questions if I have a clear way of identifying specific questions. So this is what I would write first to prepare ChatGPT. And I ask a question, do you understand? So I'm going to run the prompt and it answers me, yes, I understand. I will number my responses as you've requested. Please go ahead and ask your question. So it is now ready. We can start prompting. We can start learning. Alright, so let's start asking our friend GPT here a bunch of questions and let's get learning. So I have prepared the first prompt right here, and by all means I am also going to put a number in front of every prompt I run through ChatGPT, so it will be easier for me to refer to questions but also to some of its answers. Okay, so this is my first prompt, and I highly recommend whenever you prompt ChatGPT to let it know this is who you are and this is who I am and this is what I want. Okay, so it's kind of like the structure of the prompt. So I'm gonna ask Chat to act as an expert. Okay, act as an experienced graphic designer. Tell me, what are the fundamental principles I should know about as someone who wants to get better at graphic design? Okay, so I'm just asking Chat to teach me a bit about the graphic design principles. Let's see what it says. The principles of designs are fundamental to graphic design. They include balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, repetition, proportion, rhythm, unity, and variety. These principles help you create designs that are visually pleasing and effective. Understanding color theory. typography, composition, so that's where it is. It gives me a little paragraph about everything I need to learn. Understanding the different file formats and softwares used in graphic design is essential. And then it mentions a couple of softwares like Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign. And finally, always keep the audience and purpose of the design in mind, okay? So I have a little bit of a program already of the different things I need to learn if I want to become a graphic designer. We are going to take this with a grain of salt, obviously, like everything that comes out of ChatGPT, but I can see there are some good things in there. I just would like the information to be a little bit easier to read. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to ask GPT to regenerate this same answer, but make it easier to read. So for that, I'm going to use this prompt right here. I still have my question number 2. I'm not sure this is actually making any difference. And the prompt is this one. Make that same answer of yours easier to read with headings for each topic from 1 to 6. So let's see how this works. Yeah, I think this is the exact same text. The principles of design are fundamental to graphic design. They include principles of design. Okay, yeah, so this is already much easier to read because I can see straight away, okay, the principles of design, color theory, typography, etc., etc. So while ChatGPT is generating this better formatted list, I would say, I'm going to head back to Canva and we are going to choose a document type in which we will regroup all that interesting information we generated with ChatGPT, because this is really what I want to show you in this tutorial, how to combine Canva and the power of Canva with ChatGPT and the knowledge of ChatGPT. So after thinking about what sorts of document type I should use, it came down to 3 options to me. I could use a presentation, okay? I have 300 pages in a presentation, so I could use that. The benefit of using a presentation is that I can publish it as a website, so that could be nice. I could use a Canva doc. The benefit of a Canva doc is that it's like an infinite scroll. You don't have any number of pages. You can really go and create a bunch of information, but the format of it is still like an A4 kind of document, so it's not very wide. And the third type of document type, which is the one I am going to go for, is a Canva whiteboard, which allows me to have this infinite space, and so I can really put things on that whiteboard and then move them around and add a bunch of different media to the whiteboard. So this is what we are going to do. I am going to open a blank whiteboard by clicking on that tile right here. Okay, perfect. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. The reason why I chose a whiteboard is because of all of these templates right here. And you have a bunch of different templates with a bunch of different elements already baked in your templates. And this is going to be really useful for us to structure that information, to organize the information. So I have one particular template in mind. Let me find it right here. Yep, this is this one right here. It says organizational charts. And I don't need all of this, okay? I don't need everything on this template. For example, I don't need this, probably don't need this, probably don't need this either, but I'm gonna keep all of this for now, okay? So this is going to be my main topic, what we are trying to learn. So graphic design, okay? This one right here, it's gonna go, okay, let me zoom in a bit here. And we are going to start filling these green shapes right here with the 6 main topics that ChatGPT generated for us, okay? So I'm going to skip ahead and do that quickly. All right, so I added the 6 main category of knowledge I need to dig deeper into according to ChatGPT: principles of design, color theory, typography, composition, design softwares, and understanding your audience. So these are the green shapes right here. That is the first step. I would say this is kind of like an overview of the program I would have to go to. So let's go back to ChatGPT. I want to ask a follow-up question, and it would be this one right here. So I'm going to write number 3. And my question is there anything really critical to become a better graphic designer that you left out? Think about soft skills, hard skills, strengths, tools that talented graphic designers use. And I'm going to ask it to continue to use headings for the main topics. Okay, let's see. So it answers, yes, there are several other critical factors that can help you become a better graphic designer. Here are some additional topics to consider. So it gives me a bunch of soft skills, hard skills. So it uses my terminology really to give me an answer. Soft skills are personal attributes. So they are essential for graphic designers who work with clients, teams, and stakeholders. Some of the key soft skills for graphic design include communication, collaboration, time management, and problem solving. Okay, so here are 4 soft skills that will be useful to me. I'm going to copy that in my whiteboard in a second. Okay, so hard skills. Okay, they include skills like proficiency in design software, image editing, typography, layout design. I think we pretty much covered everything of that already. Composition, yeah. Then it tells me about industry trends. The graphic design industry is constantly evolving, and staying up to date with the latest trends is essential. So maybe I can ask a follow-up question. How do I keep up to date with the main graphic design trends in the industry? Trends can influence everything from color palette and typography, design style, and software. Keeping up with the industry trends can help you stay competitive and produce design. Okay, so that would be keeping up with the trends, I would say, and we will see how we can do that. Tools and technology. Okay, there are many different tools and technologies available for graphic design. In addition to design software, you should be familiar with tools like prototyping, wireframing, web development tools, project management software. Okay, all of that I will also list in my program. And then professional development. Graphic design is a dynamic field, and ongoing professional development is essential to stay ahead of the curve. So this can include attending industry events, taking courses and workshops, joining professional associations, etc. Okay, so let's start adding stuff. Maybe we need to add a soft skill column in my whiteboard right here. So yep, let's do this. So these will be kind of like topics I need to understand, and I feel like I could probably have my soft skills right here. So I'm gonna write in this box, pink box, soft skills, and I can start listing the different skills that ChatGPT gave me here. So I'm going to add rows to this table right here. So I'm going to skip ahead, but I'm going to fill up the information in my whiteboard of everything new I learned with this question number 3. All right, so this is where we are at the moment. I have organized this first batch of information, and we can clearly see our training program slowly is taking shape. Okay, so obviously this is just like a rough outline still. I still need to add a couple of things, like for example, how do I keep up with industry trends, or some additional software, because here it only mentioned like the Adobe product. What about Canva? What about Figma? What about these other software that I probably need to learn about if I want to be a prolific graphic designer? So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and try to refine, trying to prompt deeper to get some more detailed answers. And every time I get some more information, I will add it to our whiteboard right here. So let's go back to ChatGPT. And by all means, we are going to stay within the same conversation. Do not start a new chat at this point, because ChatGPT really has all the context it needs, all the background it needs to really understand what this conversation is all about. So do not start a new chat. All right, so I'm going to add a next prompt right here. This will be my prompt number 4. Let's focus on the software. Okay, what other design softwares do I need to learn about if I want to start a career as a graphic designer? Continue to name each topic in H1 heading. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT that question. Let's see. If you want to start a career as a graphic designer, it's important to be familiar with a variety of tools. Okay, the Adobe Creative Suite. I think we already talked about this. ChatGPT, are you sponsored by Adobe? Sketch. Okay, Sketch is a vector graphic editor that is popular with designers. Figma. Okay, Figma is a cloud-based design tool that is increasingly popular for its collaboration features. Canva is a super user-friendly design tool that allows non-designers to create professional-looking designs. Procreate is a digital painting and drawing app for the iPad, which is really good, by the way, and it's probably going to come up with a bunch of different ones. So what I'm going to do is to simply start adding these to my whiteboard. All right, I now have completed this column right here. I can zoom on that column so you can see what's going on. So we have design softwares: InDesign, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Sketch, Figma, Canva, and Procreate for the iPad. All right, so that's good. We have our list. We have an extensive list of softwares that we should probably learn about. I want to prompt ChatGPT and ask it directly, how can I learn about these softwares? So for that, I have my next prompt right here, should be prompt number 5. And I'm going to paste my prompt, which is for each software app in H1 heading, give me a list of 5 YouTube tutorials with their URL that will help me learn this platform. Let's see if ChatGPT can do that. Sure, here are some YouTube tutorials for each of the design software tools I mentioned. Starting with Adobe. Okay, Adobe Photoshop tutorial for beginners by Photoshop Training Channel. Okay, we have a link. I'm not sure it's going to work. Let's wait until it generates the entire list and then we will start fact checking, because this is a very important part of working with ChatGPT, at least at this stage when it's not yet very well connected to the open web. You have to take every URL that it gives you with a grain of salt and you have to test them. Okay, so it's still generating my ideas right here. What I can do is I'm just gonna right click on this open link in a new tab and see what happens. It generates a new tab here, YouTube, and you see this video isn't available anymore. So first link is already a fail. Let's try the second one. Getting started with Adobe Illustrator. You see 2019. It's a very old tutorial. So again, it's not available. So this doesn't seem to be working very much. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the Canva part. 10 Canva tips and tricks you need to know. Let's see this one. Again, not working. So I'm just gonna stop generating all of these and I'm gonna try to adjust, okay? Because this doesn't seem to work. I believe this is prompt number 6. I'm gonna say, none of these URL actually work. Can you provide me with the YouTube channel's URL instead of specific tutorials? So maybe the specific video is not working, but the channel still exists. And in this case, I can probably go and have a look by myself and find the tutorials that I need. But I at least need the channel's URL so I can visit it. All right, so let's see if Photoshop Training Channel still exists. It doesn't. What about Danksy? Danksai. Yeah, Danksai still exists. So creative education for everyone, everywhere. So we have a bit of luck here. This one could work. Let's see, Satori Graphics. This one, I'm pretty sure it still exists because it's...
You want some quick hacks to
Perfect, Satori Graphics still exists. So we have more luck here. Spoon Graphics, I believe this one still exists as well. Chris Spooner. Spoon Graphics, is this about graphic design? This is not about graphic design, so this is probably not a good one. And yes, I'm a designer. That's a good title for a channel.
For the past 4 years,
Photoshop Training Channel. So this one will work as well. So here we have a bit of a hit and miss, but we did achieve some results. Let's see what they give us for Canva. Are we in there? Melanie, is that Melanie Perkins' channel? Open in a new tab. Okay, let's first close this one down. No, Mel's channel is not there. Howfinity. Let's see. Nope. Pixmake. Nope. The Badass Business Show. Let's see this one. No. So pretty much nothing works here in Canva. I'm just gonna ask out of curiosity, do you know any YouTube channel about Canva with a guy called Ronnie? Just curious. I'm not aware of any YouTube channel featuring a host named Ronnie. However, there are many Canva tutorial channels available on YouTube, so it's possible that there is a channel with that name that I'm not familiar with. All right, so that hurts a little. All right, so ChatGPT doesn't seem to be a huge YouTube fan. It doesn't know much about YouTube. It gets lost with the URL, the channel names and everything. So what I suggest is that we go back to my question number 5, which was for each of these software, give me a list of 5 tutorials. Well, instead of tutorials, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to give me maybe courses, okay? So I'm gonna ask it to go back to question number 5, but instead of YouTube tutorials, to give me online courses available on Udemy, Skillshare, Coursera. Let's see if that works. Okay, so go back to my question number 5. instead of 5 YouTube tutorials, give me 5 online courses for each topic. Search on Udemy, Skillshare, Coursera, etc. Let's see if it understands what question number 5 was. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. Sure, here are 5 online courses for each topic available on popular e-learning platform. Yeah, it does know, it does remember the 5 topic categories. So Adobe Creative Suite. We have something from Udemy here, Photoshop 2021 Masterclass. Let's click on that immediately and see if this course it's not available. Let's try the second one. This is a private course. So the course is still there, but it is private. That's weird. InDesign 2021. Let's see this one. Doesn't work. This Skillshare course doesn't work. So after prompting for 2 minutes, it seems like ChatGPT is not great at providing specific URL to specific graphic design resources. Its knowledge of the open web is limited to 2021, which is already quite old. And on the other hand, like most of the URL it provides are just non-existent. So what I would suggest we do in this case is that we go to Udemy, we go to the specific platform and just search for the top courses directly in there. So I'm going to show you what would be my way of selecting a course on Udemy, and you can apply the same reasoning on any other course platform, course marketplace. So let's just use this broken URL right here and search Udemy for this Adobe Creative Suite. Okay, let's just click on the first one right here. I'm gonna accept all of that. So basically, Udemy is a search engine. Okay, so on top you have probably the most popular results, meaning results with a high rating, a lot of reviews, and also specific tags. So the best-selling course will be probably showing on top. Graphic Design Masterclass, it's 29 hours. This is probably a very good course, okay? So you can just expand this box right here and start seeing everything that you will learn by Lindsay Marsh. Lindsay Marsh, the instructor, is someone who has created a bunch of different courses, be it for graphic design, the Adobe Suite, how to use all of these tools, how to use graphic design to build a business. So I would definitely vouch for this course and this particular instructor on Udemy. If I go back here, I can see more results. So yeah, I would just scroll through this, read a couple of reviews, maybe go for one of the courses that has the bestseller badge right here, and also look at the number of reviews. Any course with over 1,000 reviews and a 4.5 at least rating should be a pretty good course. So if you want the most bang for your buck, go for the longer course and you should be good to go. So what we could do from here, for example, if I come back to this graphic design masterclass, okay, which seems like a good course to take for someone who wants to become a graphic designer, I could probably make a screenshot of this. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and kind of like the top part of this what you will learn box, come back to my Canva whiteboard and import that screenshot. Okay, so I'm just going to upload that file. Upload file, it's on my desktop, so there you go, this is it. I'm just gonna import that and place it on my whiteboard. It is now here. It's very small at the moment, but I can zoom in this whiteboard at any time. And I probably need another space right here on my whiteboard to learn about this specific course. So let me collapse this menu right here and start zooming in my design right here. So graphic design masterclass, learn great design. So this will probably be connected to this first column right here. So I could position that right here. And I know that there is a course on Udemy, and I could even link this thumbnail with the link to the course. So let's do that. I'm gonna go and grab this course URL. Okay, so this will be the course URL. And I'm gonna click on my screenshot right here, go to link, and paste that link right here. And now, whenever I would click on this, I would have the option to go to this specific course by clicking on this little icon right here. So all I need to do is to position it near my first column right here, and you can start doing this for as many courses as you want. So you have your categories, right? You have your different pillars of knowledge right here. You can start browsing Udemy, Skillshare, Coursera for any course about these different topics, and then you will add them to your Canva whiteboard. So unfortunately, ChatGPT cannot do it for you at this stage. I'm very confident that this will be fixed within a couple of weeks, maybe month, and particularly with the new Bing browser that should include a newer version of ChatGPT, which will completely be connected to the open web and give you really up-to-date results. So once this is out and rolling for everyone, this kind of task will be much easier to do, much more accurate, I would say, in terms of the results you will get either from YouTube, from courses, from any blog really, to really create your curriculum faster. All right, let's go a bit deeper. This is where we are right now for our study of graphic design, okay? We have our different pillars, and we do have some soft skills, hard skills, and industry trends. Like, I'd love to know how to keep up with industry trends in the graphic design industry. So let's ask ChatGPT how we can do that. Like, what are some ways to do that? So I have a prompt for that as well. This will be prompt number 7. And the prompt is, what are some ways for me to keep up with the latest trends in the graphic design industry? Include websites, blogs, platforms, or any relevant information. So let's see what ChatGPT says. Staying up to date with the latest trend in the graphic design industry is an important thing to do for any designer. So here are how to keep up with the latest trend. Design publications and websites. There are several design publications and websites that offer regular updates on industry news and trends. Some examples include Creative Review, Communication Arts, Design Week, and Eye on Design. Okay, social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Behance are great places to follow other designers and design-related accounts. Okay, it gives me some popular hashtags like graphic design, design inspiration, or design thinking to find relevant content. Online design communities, okay, like Dribbble, Behance, Creative Block. So there's some good stuff in here. Design conferences and events, okay, like Adobe Max, IGA, Design Conference, How to Design Live. Trend forecasting websites, like Trend Watching and WGSN. Okay, design podcasts like The Future, Creative Pep Talk. All right, so I have a bunch of different information. So what I will do, I will extract all of that good stuff and pump that into my whiteboard. All right, so let me show you where we are on our whiteboard. I have added different ways to keep up with these industry trends, okay, based on ChatGPT's latest answers. So I have created this new section of the whiteboard, and I've given it a color code. I could probably use the same color right here for the heading, which is going to be this color right here. So we have our industry trends, how to keep up with the industry trends, and this is not the same color. Let me make sure it is the same color. Now it is. So yeah, 5 different ways: design, publication, or websites. I have fact-checked all of these. They absolutely work. Social media, Instagram, Behance, Twitter. And ChatGPT also gave us a couple of hashtags to check out. So these hashtags right here on these different social media platforms. Online design communities on Dribbble, Behance, Creative Block. A couple of design conferences and events that exist throughout the world. So I have listed them here. And some design podcasts. We could also create another table right here for YouTube channels. We could create another one for, we could go deeper, for example, on Instagram, like which creators, which designers do we follow, and list them all here. So we could really go granular on our whiteboard right here. But what I want to show you is the combination. Once again, the combination between Canva, ChatGPT to really create these custom educational paths. Because once you have this, like, you can really geek out on this whiteboard right here and go deep. And then every day you open up this whiteboard and you start learning things, okay? And you can check every time you have actually finished one section of the whiteboard, or you feel like you have dived deep enough in one specific section of the whiteboard, then you can go to the next one. And you can still continue to use ChatGPT to go back and forth and go deeper on specific topics. So that's what I'm going to show you quickly right now. So how to dig deeper on any of these topics. So if we come back to the whiteboard and want to learn more, for example, about the design principles. Okay, I have these design principles right here. It seems to me that some of them are still missing, so I could just go back to ChatGPT, locate the question about the design principles, which is the first one right here, and let's go back and ask ChatGPT. So I would use this prompt. Let's talk about the design principles again. Give me an exhaustive list of all the design principles you could think of. Let's see what it says. Okay, so it's going to start generating this list. Balance, contrast, proximity, alignment, hierarchy, repetition, unity, emphasis, harmony, economy, white space, scale, movement, rhythm, symmetry, asymmetry, dominance, focal point, texture, color theory, typography, negative space, rule of thirds, golden ratio, Gestalt principles, composition, simplicity, clarity, consistency. That's 30 design principles right here. So we can probably go back to our whiteboard, put everything there under the first column, and really start going deeper. So one other thing I like to do when I receive a long list like this one, we can ask ChatGPT to give us a very succinct summary of what each of these design principles are all about. Okay, for that I have another prompt, and the prompt is this one. So I believe this will be prompt number 9. Okay, so organize these 30 points into a table. Format your answer in this way. Okay, in column 1, insert the name of the design principle. In column 2, a brief description of that principle. In column 3, a relevant example of this principle. And in column 4, why do I need to learn this principle? Okay, I should change skill by principle. Why I need to learn this principle. Okay, let's see what it can do. So I really hope it can create that nice table, because this will really be super useful for me to paste in my whiteboard. Imagine I have this clear table, and yeah, that's what it does. So balance, distributing elements evenly to create visual stability, symmetrical layout of a web page. It helps create a sense of equilibrium in a design. Contrast, draws attention to specific elements to adds visual interests. Proximity, so this is really good because I can really have a visual overview of all of these principles and start digging deeper if I want to. So let's wait for ChatGPT to finish this one table. I will copy the entire table into my whiteboard, and then I will show you how to go way deeper on one specific point, one specific design principle. Sometimes you will notice that ChatGPT stops generating its answers. So right now it made it up all the way to rule of thirds, and if I go back here, rule of thirds is actually the 23rd principle. I still have 7 missing right here, but ChatGPT is not answering anything anymore. So in that case, you can just ask ChatGPT to continue. Just type continue, it will continue generating the answer it was generating. So that's important to understand. And if it doesn't give it to you in the form of a table like it's doing right now, I meant continue in the table format. And you see what it did here, it started over, and I don't want to start over. So I will say something like start over from principle 23, which was rule of thirds. Okay, so let's see if it understands that. Format in a table. So start over from principle 23rd, rule of thirds, format in a table. Seems like it understood. Yes. So you see, sometimes it's a little bit capricious, like you will have to put it back on the right track when it starts to wander off the wrong way. But that's totally fine. I mean, this is a wonderful tool. It's giving us so much information. So it is normal that you keep an eye on what it's doing, and you need to correct the trajectory when it's not going the way you want. So let's just keep an eye on the different design principles that I get here to make sure they correspond to my 30 points right here. So simplicity, clarity, consistency, functionality. Functionality, trend awareness, it's giving me more actually, but it is the right order at least. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you can actually keep all of that information in a table format in Canva. I'm going to copy the first part of the table right here. Okay, so all the way to here, Command C or Control C, going back to Canva. And here, if I paste that directly into my whiteboard, it's not going to look great. So let me bring it here and zoom in on this so you can see what's been generated here. So this is how it looks like. And I can extend my column right here. So what I can do is probably select the entire thing and simply make the text bigger. I want this to be in size 14. Great, now I have my table. I could probably make it longer here. So I do have a bit more space in each of these cells that we can see here. So you see, this is a little bit tedious, okay? Because I would have to manually adjust the size and the spacing in between each of the cells. So this is not great. I'm going to delete the entire table, okay? Zoom out again. And I'm gonna show you a trick. You can use another document type. You can use a Canva document, okay? So I'm gonna start a Canva doc and I'm going to paste everything here. And now my table is gonna look very nice, okay? It's gonna look perfect. And what I can do is to simply select this first column right here. So by selecting the first cell all the way to the last cell, I can format that, including this one right here. So I'm going to do this again. I'm holding my Shift button, my Shift key on my keyboard to select all of this first row. I'm going to make that bold. Actually, I'm going to change the font to something bolder, so Montserrat Extra Bold. Yes. And I'm also going to use the same formatting for these column titles right here. Description, example, importance. I'm going to make this Montserrat Extra Bold. This one actually doesn't need to be bolded. And I want to center this, so I'm going to justify this in the middle. And I also want some colors, okay? So let's give this nice pale green color. All right, so now I have this nice table. I could go back to ChatGPT and continue making this table. But what I'm gonna do is to first bring that over my Canva whiteboard, okay? So with it selected, okay, it's entirely selected, I'm gonna Command C or copy this thing, come back to my whiteboard, click in the whiteboard and Command V. And now you see here, I have my table right here. Just need to make it at the right size, like so, and I can bring it here next to my design principles. And so now I can move this a bit more like here. Could probably change this for a green which matches what I have here. I believe it is this one. Now the design principles, I can bring that arrow right here and point it here. So if I zoom in, I will see my entire table here. So what I could probably do is to select the entire table and make it bigger, so it's easier for me to actually read all of this information. I probably don't need that much space on that side right here. So it's just a question of playing around with the formatting so that it looks good to you. And now I have all the design principles here. I have the descriptions, and it's pretty good, and I have, I would say, an overview of all of these design principles. Now, if I was to search deeper for a particular one, I could really do that by going back to ChatGPT and ask it to tell me everything you know about, I don't know, like focal points. So I would grab focal points, give me a crash course about creating focal points in graphic design. What should I know about? Let's see what it tells me. Creating a focal point in graphic design is a critical part of catching the viewer's attention and emphasizing important information. Here are some key things you should keep in mind when creating a focal point. Okay, so choose a focal point that aligns with your message. Use contrast to create visual interest. Position the focal point strategically. Okay, so all of these different points right now are telling me more about one specific design principle. So I could leverage that to really learn more, to dig deeper. And this is going to be some interesting information that, again, I will extract and bring to my Canva whiteboard. I think you get the point by now. So I'm just going to copy this information right here, okay, all the way to 1. Go back to my whiteboard. I can move this table to any direction really. So what I'll do is just simply paste all of the information. It will look something like this, okay? It's not exactly a very fun format to read. So I'm gonna unbold this. I'm gonna make this about the same size as these guys right here. And I'm gonna make this justified to this side, okay? Now I can zoom in and see what's going on here. I have a different font from this one, Montserrat, so I'm gonna make this Montserrat for sure, so I can use the copy style button right here and just copy the style here. I don't want this to be bold. I want this to be Montserrat normal, okay? And I want this to be justified this way. So choosing a focal point, okay, I can add a couple of enters to simply create different blocks, or I could ask ChatGPT to do this kind of formatting for me. So I'm going to show you how to do that and then wrap up the tutorial, because I believe you get the main idea of how you would use ChatGPT to really prompt and prompt and prompt deeper. Okay, so I will ask generate this same answer by using H1 headings for each point. Yeah, let's just do that. And it's going to generate this in a much easier way to read. All right, so the task is ready. I have all my headings, small paragraph, all my text is here. So I'm just going to copy all of that information like so, copy, and I'm going to come back to my Canva document right here. I'm not going to paste straight to the whiteboard. I'm going to go to my Canva document. I'm going to delete this entire thing right here, deleting the entire table that I created earlier. I'm gonna paste this text right here because it seems like Canva docs keep the formatting. So copying from here and then going to my whiteboard. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this box now and create a new box. There you go. Now I have this box with my formatting, which is exactly what I wanted, okay? So there you go. I have my first, I would say, more detailed answer about how to create a focal point. So that would be this point right here. And I can now adjust this box by using an arrow. That's why I kept this little guy right here. Let's bring that closer on this side to use the arrows, okay? So I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. I'm gonna zoom back in, bring that arrow right here, sorry, to connect it to this text box. And I'm gonna connect the other part of the arrow to focal point right here. And now when I move this, it's always gonna point at focal point. So what you can do is for each of these design principles to generate a similar text like so, and all of a sudden you find yourself with 30 different design principles and a way to apply them. And you could go deeper and ask for examples, etc., etc. And you can do this for any part of your whiteboard. You can really go deep. You can really go down the rabbit hole and use ChatGPT to go deeper in any of these points. This is just to show you how you can really leverage both these powerful tools and the power of Canva, especially for organizing this information with arrows and blocks that you can link together. So just know a couple of workarounds, a couple of hacks. If you paste from ChatGPT in a specific formatting directly in your whiteboard, you probably will lose the formatting. But if you paste in a Canva doc first and then copy that and paste in your whiteboard after, you will maintain that specific formatting, which is very interesting in my opinion. Make you save a bunch of time. All right, I'm gonna leave it here, guys. Let me know what you thought about this tutorial in the comment section. As always, if you like the tutorial, well, give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And since we are talking about graphic design, I'm gonna leave you guys with our playlist with all our graphic design tutorials, all the principles. And then here at the bottom, our playlist with some other AI tutorials. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.